What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another NBA news video to talk about with you guys. This time actually revolving around the New York Knicks yet again. Pretty much a lot of Knicks news have just been coming out very recently. And of course, this time we've actually got some news to deal with the New York Knicks, with it currently actually being reported that the New York Knicks are interested in Danilo Gallinari. Now, of course, this is all being reported by Ian Begley. He seems to just report all the New York Knicks news at this point. He's currently saying that the Knicks are looking to sign a forward who can shoot by Ian Begley, and we've seen reports a couple of weeks ago that I think he was looking at Danilo Gallinari, and then a lot of reports from other journalists as well that they have their eyes on Danilo Gallinari. There was also a comment that he made. Someone commented at Ian Begley, "Imagine the Knicks PA announcer reaction if the Knicks signed Gallo again. He enjoys saying his name," and Ian Begley said, yes, he did. So, again, I think this would be extremely interesting by the New York Knicks, and a player that I've talked about before that I actually think they should be looking to potentially sign, as I think he would be a lot better of a replacement than what Julius Randle has been. So it's currently looking like the Oklahoma City Thunder, are going to look to do a sign and trade with Danilo Gallinari to the Miami Heat. Obviously, that was the reports on trade deadline. I mean, it got so close to happening before a little problem happened at the end, which again we don't really know exactly too much about, but of course it nearly happened, and it was pretty much locked at one point. I thought that Danilo Gallinari was going to be a Miami Heat player, but then there was also rumors before that a couple of weeks that maybe the New York Knicks could have been interested in signing him in free agency, and that the Philadelphia 76ers could look to trade Al Horford to try and get him. Well, again, now we've got the New York Knicks currently out here being interested in him, and why I think this is really cool and, again, kind of convenient is because it's also being reported, for a long time now, and I'm sure you guys have heard about this, is that the New York Knicks are also interested in Chris Paul, which also, he also plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, again, I think this would be really cool for the Knicks. I've talked about it in a couple videos now. What the New York Knicks are reportedly wanting to do is actually draft LaMelo Ball and then trade for Chris Paul. What they would probably do is actually play LaMelo Ball at shooting guard and then Chris Paul on point guard when it comes to the defensive end. But then they would also decide to play Chris Paul at shooting guard on the offensive end, and then LaMelo Ball would pretty much be the main ball carrier and be the one that play makes and does all that type of stuff. Because we obviously know now at this point, especially with him playing at the Illawarra Hawks with Aaron Brooks, that he plays a lot better when he has the ball in his hands. So, again, I think it would be really cool. We've seen Chris Paul playing that off-ball type of guard role when he was at the Houston Rockets with James Harden. We've seen him play a lot of it now at OKC with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Dennis Schroeder when he decides to isolate. And obviously as well that Chris Paul has a very, very good connection with Danilo Gallinari. And Gallinari's having like his best season in the NBA. He's getting like 8 rebounds or something like that a game. 20 points on very, very good efficiency. And that's all, of course, coming with Chris Paul's playmaking. So I think this would be a very cool idea. Even if they don't get Chris Paul, it would be awesome, in my opinion, to do a sign and trade of maybe Julius Randle and 2 second-round picks for Danilo Gallinari. I think that would be a really cool idea. Obviously, I'm not that much of a fan of Julius Randle. I don't think Knicks fans are too. He hasn't had exactly the greatest season. Again, I don't know if you can really blame him. I mean, none of the Knicks have really had a good season, but again, I think even though Gallinari's a lot older than him, he's so much better, and I don't necessarily think Julius Randle has that much potential in the league. So I think that would be a cool trade to see. Randle would go to OKC. OKC would get some more picks, and they get a young power forward player who's not exactly on too much money. I mean, 20 million is probably quite a lot, but that's what they're pretty much playing. They're paying Gallinari right now. So again, it kind of equals out, and I think that would be a really good move. But if we're looking at the fact that the New York Knicks may trade for Chris Paul as well, then I definitely think it's going to be a lot more than that. What it will possibly be is, I think a good trade may be Julius Randle, Kevin Knox, that Dallas first round pick, a couple of seconds, and then maybe another player like Dennis Smith Jr. for Danilo Gallinari and Chris Paul. I think that would be a pretty fair and reasonable trade. The Oklahoma City Thunder would get a lot out of that. You know, I mean, they would get a couple of picks, you know, a first-round pick as well from Dallas. Then they would get Kevin Knox, which would be a very good idea for them because they desperately need a small forward, and Kevin Knox will definitely put in that small forward that they also need. And, you know, Kevin Knox hasn't exactly been that great with New York, and I think it would be time for a new fresh scene and a change of scenery, and I think OKC would be a cool team for him to go to. And then, you know, Julius Randle can start at power forward, that Gallinari does leave. And now Dennis Smith Jr. may even, you know, get more minutes than what he is getting on the New York Knicks because OKC will be down Chris Paul, and they'll be looking to give a new guard some minutes. And I think, yeah, Dennis Smith Jr. may finally get that opportunity. And if not, if they don't get Dennis Smith Jr., it could be Frank Ntilikina as well. So again, I think that would be a very, very good idea by both teams. But I just think it's going to come down to it on what's going to happen on draft day and all this stuff. We've seen that the New York Knicks are reportedly interested in Kenny Atkinson, and I made a video that I highly recommend checking out as well, that, you know, Kenny, it should be out before this one. If not, it's probably going to come out after, so definitely subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for that if it's not out already. Just subscribe anyway. But, you know, again, I've talked about it in that video that I think Kenny Atkinson would be an interesting coach because he's been good with the double backcourt system with D'Lo and Dinwiddie, and he was pretty successful with that. And I think he would kind of be successful with Chris Paul and LaMelo Ball too. Like, he could try and figure something out. And then, you know, Gallinari as well, just to add to that. I think that would be extremely interesting. But it's all going to come down to what happens with the Knicks on draft day. I think they're going to try and get Chris Paul no matter what. Whether Gallinari's involved, whether they draft LaMelo Ball, I think they're going to be trying to get Chris Paul, again, as I just said, no matter what at the end of the day. Chris Paul is absolutely vital, in my opinion, for the New York Knicks to get. He provides the experience and the much-needed playmaking that the New York Knicks haven't had at point guard for so many years. I mean, the best point guard of this decade or something for the Knicks was like Raymond Felton and Jeremy Lin, and Jeremy Lin only played like half a season, and Raymond Felton played a couple seasons. So again, they haven't had exactly much down at the Knicks, and I think it would be very interesting if Chris Paul came in, and it would be really nice if maybe he had Gallinari by his side again as well. I mean, we've seen how good he's done with him at OKC. They've made the playoffs right now. At the time of making this video, I believe they're the 5th seed, and a lot of people even had them finishing last. Again, I think I've said it before, I had them in the playoffs. I thought Gallinari and Paul were just too good of talents to not be able to make the playoffs. And again, I was completely right. They made the playoffs. They're doing really well at the moment. You know, the season's been partially damaged, but hopefully it will come back. And yeah, Gallinari and Paul have been a dynamic duo. Like, a dynamic duo that not many people saw coming. And yeah, I think Gallinari's the second highest scorer. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander still scores more than them, but still, he's a 20 points per game or so on very good percentages, and shooting wise is very, very good for Gallinari. And again, that was all with Chris Paul. Imagine what he would have with Chris Paul and LaMelo Ball. The playmaking there would literally be insane. Like, the amount of open looks that Gallinari could actually get from that would be extremely interesting, and something that I definitely would like to see. But I don't know if I'd like Gallinari to be on the Knicks or, you know, the Miami Heat. I think something a lot of people don't know is I believe the Knicks actually drafted Gallinari about, 10 years or so ago, and he spent a little bit of his career there before entering up on a couple of teams. I believe the Denver Nuggets he was on for a bit. He's on the Clippers. He was on the he was on the Thunder now, and will be looking for his next team to go to. And I don't think that's going to be the Miami Heat. I think they've got ideas. They want to look at Giannis. They want to look at so many players. Victor Oladipo. Giannis is their main one, and Giannis plays that power forward position. So I don't think they're going to really partner up Gallinari and Giannis. And of course, salary cap issues would be a massive thing now, especially considering Gallinari is looking at $20 million or so. So again, I don't think it's going to be the Miami Heat. I don't know about the Sixers. I still feel like the Sixers are going to be in the market to try and trade Al Horford, and Al Horford would be kind of perfect for OKC, as well, because he's a veteran dude that the OKC have kind of brought in these veteran guys like Chris Paul and revive their careers. And I think it would be kind of cool for them to bring in Al Horford if they trade Steven Adams and kind of revive his career. I think that would be extremely interesting. It's something that would be obviously very, very cool to see. But of course, right now, it looks like the New York Knicks are definitely interested in him. And yeah, you know, if Ian Begley's reporting it, there's something going on there. So again, I think this would be really cool to maybe even see Chris Paul and Gallinari partner up permanently now on the New York Knicks. And yeah, again, because I don't think that is going to be really that permanent for much longer at OKC. But of course, it's going to be a nice trio if they do get it done, or a nice, you know, quadruple team, really, if they can get Atkinson, LaMelo, Chris Paul, and Gallinari. That would be 4 very, very big inclusions. But anyone, to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for the latest NBA news and NBA content. Definitely comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts and opinions on this? Do you guys think it would be a good idea for the New York Knicks to get Danilo Gallinari and maybe even Chris Paul? Or do you guys think they should just not? Again, I definitely would really like to know your thoughts and opinions. What team is Gallinari going to go to? Is he going to stay at OKC, go to Philly, go to Miami, or even go to New York Knicks in a sign and trade? Or maybe he's just going to sign. Again, I definitely would really like to know your thoughts and opinions on this all down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel, MIRL/vlog channel. Definitely check out my podcast as well if you haven't already. Links for them will all be in the description down below. But as I was saying, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.